Welcome to Scary Stories, the channel that brings you spine-chilling tales that will keep you up at night. Today, we have a story that will take you on a journey through the apocalypse, where the most terrifying enemies are not the undead, but other people. In this story, we follow the adventures of a group of survivors who are forced to travel across a zombie-infested mainland in search of a safer place. They face unimaginable challenges as they try to rebuild their world, from natural disasters to disease outbreaks to conflicts with other groups of survivors. But through it all, they never lose hope. They work together to overcome every obstacle, forging strong bonds and building a new family along the way. And in the end, they emerge victorious, having restored the world to its former state and secured a brighter future for generations to come. So buckle up, turn off the lights, and get ready for a story that will have you on the edge of your seat. This is the story of the survivors, and it's about to begin on Scary Stories. We find ourselves in a world that is on the verge of destruction. Surprisingly, the most terrible enemies for a person in such circumstances are not bloodthirsty monsters, but other people. With the destruction of civilization, the lowest instincts seem to awaken in a person, forcing him to think only about his own life. In such conditions, the main characters of the fantastic series Fear the Walking Dead have to survive, forced to periodically travel across the zombie-infested mainland in search of a safer place. At the start of Season 5, Dory, June, Alicia, Morgan, and Luciana are involved in an accident. Everything happens because of the desire to help a stranger named Logan. No one is killed, but Luciana is seriously injured and needs urgent help. After that, the group meets strange children who warn of high levels of radiation in these places and many traps. The situation becomes even more complicated when it turns out that Logan is Clayton's partner. He lured the heroes here on purpose so that the polar bear could take over the factory. Meanwhile, Strand finds an opportunity to use another plane to save his friends. But for this, he will have to join forces with Salazar, whom no one has seen since the destruction of the dam. As Strand and Salazar team up, they come across a group of survivors who have barricaded themselves inside an abandoned warehouse. These survivors are hesitant to let the newcomers in, but Strand and Salazar convince them that they are not a threat. Inside the warehouse, they find a map that shows the location of a nearby military base that is said to be safe from the radiation. The survivors decide to make the journey to the military base, hoping that they will find safety there. As they make their way through the dangerous landscape, they encounter more and more obstacles. The children who warned them about the radiation turn out to be part of a dangerous cult that believes the apocalypse is a cleansing of the earth. The cult tries to capture the survivors and sacrifice them to their god, but they manage to escape just in time. As they finally approach the military base, they are ambushed by a group of heavily armed bandits. They manage to fight them off, but at a great cost. Dory sacrifices himself to save the others, and they finally make it inside the base. Inside the base, they find that it is not the safe haven they had hoped for. The military personnel who are supposed to be in charge have become corrupt and are hoarding supplies for themselves. The survivors must now find a way to overthrow the corrupt leaders and take control of the base if they want to survive. The final showdown is intense and bloody, but in the end, the survivors emerge victorious. They take control of the base and begin to rebuild their lives. However, they know that there will always be new challenges and dangers waiting for them in this new world, and they must be ready to face them head on. As they settle into their new home, the survivors realize that they have to find a way to live together despite their differences. Some of them want to rebuild society, while others believe that the old ways have led them to this point and that they should start anew. Alicia becomes the leader of the group and works tirelessly to keep everyone united. Morgan, who has been struggling with his own demons, finds a new sense of purpose as he helps to train the survivors in self-defense. As time passes, the survivors begin to adapt to their new life. They build a community and start to grow their own food. They even manage to establish communication with other groups of survivors, exchanging goods and knowledge. But as they start to feel safe, a new threat emerges. A group of highly organized bandits known as the Raiders start to attack nearby communities, stealing their resources and enslaving their people. The survivors know that they have to act fast if they want to protect themselves and their neighbors. They form an alliance with other communities and plan a coordinated attack against the Raiders. The battle is long and grueling, but in the end, the survivors emerge victorious. They manage to capture the Raiders' leader and bring an end to their reign of terror. As they celebrate their victory, the survivors realize that they have come a long way since the accident that brought them together. They have built a new home and a new family, and they know that they will face whatever challenges the future holds together. With the threat of the Raiders finally eliminated, the survivors begin to focus on rebuilding their world. They work together to construct new homes, grow crops, and establish trade routes with nearby communities. During this time, they also discover a group of scientists who have been working on a cure for the virus that caused the apocalypse. Although the cure is not yet complete, the survivors are hopeful that they may be able to restore the world to its former state. As they continue to work towards their goal, they encounter new challenges along the way. They have to deal with natural disasters, disease outbreaks, and conflicts with other groups of survivors. Through it all, Alicia remains a strong leader, always putting the needs of her people first. Morgan, meanwhile, continues to struggle with his own demons but finds solace in helping others. Eventually, the cure is completed, and the survivors begin the long process of restoring the world to its former state. They rebuild cities, establish governments, and create new laws to prevent the mistakes of the past from being repeated. As the years go by, the world slowly returns to normal, and the survivors are able to live their lives without fear of the undead or the dangers of a lawless society. Looking back on their journey, they realize that they have come a long way from the accident that brought them together. They have faced unimaginable challenges and come out the other side stronger for it. As they sit around the campfire, telling stories of their adventures, they know that they will never forget the lessons they have learned and the bonds they have formed along the way. In conclusion, the story of the survivor's journey through the apocalypse is a testament to the resilience and strength of the human spirit. It is a story of hope, of survival, and of the power of community in the face of unimaginable challenges. And it is a story that is perfect for the YouTube channel Scary Stories. Through their platform, viewers can experience the thrill of the apocalypse and the triumph of the survivors as they overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. The channel can bring the story to life through vivid narration, eerie sound effects, and haunting visuals, transporting viewers to the world of the survivors and immersing them in the heart-pumping action. So if you're a fan of scary stories and thrilling adventures, be sure to tune into the YouTube channel Scary Stories and experience the incredible journey of the survivors for yourself.